host, Steve Simpson. Got my fellow guests here, Alex, Carson, and Crossan. Got a great show for you guys today. Let's start off with the Pats this week. What are your thoughts on the game? They moved to 5-6 with a pretty big win over the Cardinals. It's a good team.
I think the Cardinals kicker really lost in that game. I think Zane Gonzalez, he just kind of buffed it, and then our kicker, Nick Folk, Ian saved us there. So I think it would have been really close. But I think we played well. I think Cam had an interception, I'm pretty sure though.
Yeah.
But I think he's probably been looking a little bit better. Defense, I've heard, is getting back together. I didn't really watch the entire game, but I saw parts of it.
Yeah, the defense definitely one of their better games of the season, or not, I wouldn't say better, but one of their better games in a while. They just contained them pretty well. They had a little struggle early on, but after that, it was pretty good. Just containing them. Cam didn't play great, but they found ways to score. I mean, that punt, we almost had that punt return for a touchdown. So, I mean, a win's a win. It wasn't a great win. I think if we could have played better. We could have beat them better, but so could have they. So, but I think it was a pretty good one. So,
I didn't watch the game, but if we beat the Cardinals, that's a good win, and I'll take it.
Yeah, they kind of got bailed out on that final drive by the unnecessary roughness by Isaiah Simmons. Like that basically put them into field goal range. I don't know if Cam would have been able to get them there without that.
Yeah.
He threw that terrible pick on the drive before, like nowhere near the Pats receiver.
But they had a really good – was that right before halftime where they had that crazy goal line stop?
Yeah.
Held them to a field. Yeah, that was really good defense on the goal line there.
Yeah, their runnings looked a lot better than their passing game. Like, Damian Harris is good. And, like, when did they play Green Bay last week? No. Who was it? They played, like, some terrible run defense a few weeks ago and just didn't use Damian Harris at all. And Cam threw, like, 50 passes, which is like, I don't know why you're doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, it was the Texans game. Yeah. They shouldn't have lost that game. The Texans are terrible.
Yeah, they've been really inconsistent with their wins, I think. They've lost a bunch of terrible teams like the Broncos and the Texans, but they beat like pretty decent teams like the Cardinals. And they beat the Ravens too, didn't they?
Yeah, they beat the Ravens. They competed with the Seahawks and the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know what they got to just find this more solid way of playing the game, like maybe more run heavy. But yeah.
I mean, I think any team that's letting Cam Newton throw the ball 40 times isn't going to be that successful because he's just not a pocket
He's not
passer.
his prime like it was 5 years ago.
To make the playoffs, like, they need to go maybe.
I think they need to win out, and then they need
4-1 in the next games. Coming up this week, they have the Chargers. I think they can lock that up. I mean, that's a good offense, but not a great defense.
Yeah, I agree. I think they can beat the Chargers.
I think Rams is going to be tough. They're kind of inconsistent as well, but they have a solid defense. So,
yes, especially they've got Aaron Donald and they've got a good defensive line, so they're probably going to be pushing a lot of pressure on Cam. So I don't know how he's going to be.
Toby Myers, so I don't know how that's going to go. Then after that, it's all AFC East, and I think if they want to make the playoffs, they have to win those 3 games. Because right now they're 5-6, and Dolphins are 7-4. So Gotta flip that. And then I think the Bills probably have the division locked up. They're looking really good. All right, now moving on to more just general NFL. Did you guys catch the Tampa Bay Kansas City game?
Yeah, I did.
That was crazy.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Tampa Bay and like they're not? I think they fell to 7-5 this week, or yeah, maybe 8-4. Why do you think that's
7-5.
not working there? They have a ton of weapons, so
I mean, they only lost by 3, and I don't know. Brady didn't play his best, and then it's pretty hard to win when the opposing team's wide receiver has 270 yards and 3 touchdowns. So
well, I think that's a problem in their secondary. Like whoever the corner was, I forget what his name was like it wasn't even all just
the
screws.
offense.
It was like still just like on corner routes, he was just getting burnt.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I think it's something coaching wise because they have, I mean, also probably part on Brady. He hasn't been playing really well recently, but something's like going on, especially defensively wise, because they had a really good defense. And then all of a sudden they let up 270 passing yards in one, or like 200 passing yards in one quarter to one guy. So they've got to figure out what the issue is. I don't really know what that is, but there's something going on there. Let me fix that if they want to do good.
I don't know what their change was that they made. I mean, they really have little excuse to not be like performing like really well. They've got a great offense. They've got a ton of weapons. I think it's probably just on their defense, like what Carson said, their coaching or something. Because I don't know, they looked really solid earlier weeks.
Yeah, I really hate Bruce Arians. Just kind of
It's a weird coach.
calls out Tom Brady. Like, who do you think you are? Like, you're coaching the Bucks. You're not a great coach. You haven't done much in your career. You're trying to call out the best quarterback of all time for bad throws. Just doesn't work like that. There's a total.
Everybody out.
Yeah.
Calling out AB. He was slandering him before he even was on the team.
Just not a great guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, their defense. I mean, they just haven't come up big in big games. Like they've lost to the Rams, 2 to the Saints. They just lost to the Chiefs, and like those are the types of teams they'll be playing in the playoffs. So they got to figure out how to beat them, or else they might be a first round exit. How about that Steelers Ravens game yesterday? Steelers up to 11-0.
I don't know. I found it kind of concerning that it was a really close game. But a win's a win. And I think the Steelers I'm rooting for the Steelers. Kind of hope they beat the Chiefs. I like their record. I like their receivers. I just like them as a team. But I mean, they came pretty close to losing to the Ravens, which I don't know if that's just a result of Ravens playing good defense or the Steelers not playing great defense, because they had the Ravens were using Trace McSorley and like Gus Edwards in their backfield. So
I mean,
Yeah,
they had a lot of injured. They had a lot of people out.
That last touchdown was kind of a garbage time touchdown. Just like the Steelers corner tried to jump it and pick it, and like you shouldn't do that against the guy who ran the fastest 40 ever. Or wait, no, that wasn't Marquise Brown, but probably ran somewhere around the 4.3.
Yeah, Marquise Brown's really fast.
What happened to RG3? Did he get pulled or did he get hurt?
He's terrible.
He was hurt earlier in the game, but I feel like he got pulled. I don't know.
Didn't he have like 2 turnovers in the first quarter?
Yeah,
Including
one
a
of his
pick
first
six.
passes was a pick six.
Yeah. I mean, the Steelers are 11-0, so I can't like really slander that, but they barely beat the Cowboys and their 4th string quarterback, and then they barely beat Robert Griffin and Trace McSorley. I mean, like, if you're 11-0, you should be killing those teams. So, I mean, the Ravens have a good defense, but I still think that shouldn't be close.
Yeah, I'd agree. Especially because like terrible teams have killed the Cowboys, like the football team did last week. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, 41-16. Steelers gonna do that. So, let's see what other games were big this week. Oh, Falcons game was kind of a surprise. That kind of threw off the Raiders. Might hurt them.
And Derek Carr was just playing terribly,
Yeah.
in my opinion. And I don't know what they were doing. He kept trying to like throw really far. He had a pick or two, and they just kept trying the same stuff. And I don't know, somehow I don't know. Lance says something clicked for them. They played really good defense, and their offense was just killing it, and their kicker nasty.
Young Huku.
Yep.
Way cool. Yeah. Yeah, that was a tough game for the Raiders because now they're down to 6-5, and that probably should have been a win. Let's see. Also, the Saints got a gimme win against the Broncos, playing against no quarterback. No, that's lucky for them.
Yeah. I think the Broncos had 26 total yards of offense or something. It was not good.
That's just unfortunate.
I mean,
But going into that, they knew they were going to lose. They were like, there's no way you win that.
The guy who played quarterback was 1 for 8 with 11 yards. And I mean, I just look at that and I'm like, I feel like you could get a little more than 11 yards in a 60-minute game.
Yeah, but he hadn't played quarterback in 2 years, and then he didn't have any time to prepare.
Yeah, they literally told him the night before you were playing.
I do agree, though. He could have played better.
He also didn't know half the playbook too, so they were running super simple plays. There's no complicated routes. There's just simple plays. But
Seahawks Eagles was a surprisingly close game, but I guess that's due to the garbage time Hail Mary by Crossan's favorite Carson Wentz. But
Crossan also doesn't feel too well about Taysom Hill.
Eagles
Stealing Kamara's goal.
Yeah.
Yep. I feel like the Seahawks kind of peaked.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think it was when they're letting Russ cook, and now they kind of gone back to just running the ball, and they're just going to play disciplined football to win football games instead of letting them throw the deep ball. I mean, right now, he was just kind of going after the DK Darius Slay matchup, and Darius Slay got embarrassed out there. I mean, the Eagles could still win their division at 3-7, so
pretty close. Every team has 3 wins.
Yeah.
Cowboys in last, but not out of it.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think the football team.
Giants and football team are tied at 4-7.
I gotta say Washington. I think
I
Washington.
like Washington.
I
Trust,
like Washington as of lately.
Alex Smith.
Alex Smith is like been doing pretty well.
Trust.
Antonio Gibson's pretty good running back. Terry McLaurin's a great receiver. Their
Oh,
defense
love
isn't
Stevie.
terrible. I like them.
And then they're gonna get killed by whoever they play in the first round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Ron Rivera too.
Mhm.
Used to be in Carolina and kind of just got booted for like, I don't even think they were doing like that bad. So, yeah, I mean the NFC West is going to be a tight division. 8-3 Seahawks, 7-4 Rams, 6-5 Cardinals, 5-6 49ers. The 49ers are finally getting healthy. Like they had a big win against the Rams this week. So they could possibly.
I don't think the 49ers are legit. They're like, even if they get Jimmy G back, Jimmy G's really not
Yeah.
like good. Say he's a bottom 15 quarterback.
Yeah. He wasn't even good last year when they went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he made
It was all Raheem Mostert.
100.
Yeah.
They have like 5 different running backs they can hand the ball to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what do you guys have as AFC playoff teams right now?
Like who's gonna make
Yeah,
the
who do you
Super
think
Bowl?
will go to the playoffs from the AFC?
So and AFC East pretty easy. That's gonna be the Bills. They got that locked up. I don't think the Dolphins have even though they're 7-4, I don't really think they have a chance of winning it. Chiefs and AFC West. Steelers. What division are the Steelers in? The
North.
Yeah, AFC North is Steelers, and then South I got Titans. And for the wild card, I'm gonna go Colts, Browns. I don't think the Browns are gonna do good, but just because I think they can probably win out the rest of their
Yeah.
games, do
They got a
pretty
good
well.
record.
They're gonna have a good record. I don't think they're gonna do that well, but the Browns and I think the Raiders, because the Raiders have a pretty easy schedule. I mean, the hardest team they play right now is the Colts, but I think they can beat the Jets, Chargers, Dolphins, and Broncos.
Agreed. Carson, we got the same list.
Yeah, I think they can win out. And then in the NFC East, I'm gonna take Washington in the I'm actually gonna take the Rams in the West. I also think they can pull out some wins. Packers, and then Saints, and then wild card is gonna be Buccaneers, Seahawks, and what did I say? Buccaneers, Seahawks, and probably Vikings. Even though like the rest of the team, or no, Cardinals. My bad. Cardinals or Vikings.
Alex, do you have anything different in the NFC?
Yeah, I got Buccaneers over Saints, to be honest. I think once the Buccaneers start getting their defense sorted out, I think they could. I
The
think they
problem
can
with
go better than the
that
Saints.
is they've already played the Saints twice.
Yeah, and
So if
it's
they tie
just
in
think it's
record, it goes to Saints, and then
yeah, they're also 2 games back, and
yeah, they gotta.
in 5 games. That's a pretty hard mountain to climb, but you never know.
Also, if the Saints win this week, then they're 3 games back because Bucks are on bye. Croston, do you have anything different?
I think the Saints are taking that division. And then the Saints are 8-3, Bucks are 7-5.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they got the tiebreaker. So, give me Saints.
Yeah, it'd be interesting who gets the 7th wild card spot. I honestly think the Bears could pull it off if they get it together. Because the Vikings have just really been inconsistent. But I mean, Bears have too. They started 5-1. Now they've lost 5 straight.
Yeah, I mean, like after that second wild card spot, the rest of the teams are 6-5 or 5-6
Yeah.
or below. So it's really gonna be a dogfight, but it's gonna be crazy to see who gets that last spot. But I think the AFC East is pretty locked up. Or I mean, the AFC just.
I'd like to see the Pats make it in somehow, but I'd also like to see them get a nice draft pick and a quarterback.
They take the draft pick, to be honest.
Get Justin Fields.
I don't think
Go
we
to
get
Jacksonville.
I don't know. I'd rather have the Florida quarterback, or
Hal Trask.
I don't want Lawrence.
No.
Don't like
I
him.
know.
Don't like him.
He's like the best quarterback.
How about that guy from BYU is not looking
Zach Wilson.
bad. Zach, he's not looking bad.
Have him in my Madden franchise. Pretty good. Yeah. Yeah. It's
Not
interesting who makes the playoffs. I think the AFC is always like pretty decided by now, but I don't know. There's some teams that could still squeak in. Like the Ravens have a shot. I mean, they still play the Browns, but they have a lot of guys on the COVID list. So, all right. So we wrap it up there. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Tim.
thanks, Tim.